Hey Top Senators, how's it going? Today we're going to be looking at a slightly controversial subject in the Pokemon organised play scene. But before we do, I would like to actually cover a bit of news that's come forward. We've actually had the first official announcement of the Japanese XY3 set. The set's name is going to be Rising Fist, and it seems to have a strong focus around Mega Lucaria. Alongside the main set, Japan will also be receiving a Mega Lucario X box set, which comes with Mega Lucario. We've also seen that there's a Holucha X. The box also seems to include a reprint of Shauna and Tyranno. Comes with a heap of fighting energy, and something we've never seen before, we seem to be receiving a special fighting energy by the name Strong Energy. Now, I'm going to be honest right now, I have no idea what Strong Energy does. I've not seen any news on it. I don't think anyone has yet. All we know is that it appears to be a special fighting energy. It could do something completely new and drastic. It could be just something to supplement fighting Pokemon. It could be a case of, well, your active fighting Pokemon is knocked out with this. Move it onto another fighting Pokemon on your bench or something. So it's basically got built-in experience share. That being said, it could fall in line with what happened with Special Metal and Special Dark. Special Metal Energy used to be a special energy type that if it was attached to a Steel type Pokemon, would actually buffer any damage the Steel type Pokemon took by 10. We also had Special Dark, which, like Special Metal, it had to actually be attached to its corresponding type, so a Special Dark Energy would be a Dark Energy attached to a Dark Pokemon, and that Dark Pokemon would deliver 10 more damage. Now, we've not been shown what this does yet, so it could actually be a case of, well, it's going to be a rework on that. So, Special Dark, increased damage output. Special Metal, increased defenses. Maybe Special Fighting increases health by 10 hit points? I don't know. It could actually be that Strong Energy is actually going to effectively replace Special Dark Energy by being a case of you attach it to a fighting Pokemon. That fighting Pokemon now does 10 extra damage on all of its attacks. As I've said, I'm not 100% sure, this is just complete speculation, but it is something to actually think about. Alongside the news of Rising Fist, we've also been shown that over here in the English speaking world, we're going to be receiving the Kalos Power Tins. The tins themselves are going to feature Chestnut X, Delphox X and Greninja X. We've not actually been told anything else about the tins. We've been shown their promotional artwork, but we haven't been told what's going to be in the tins with them, what kind of pack layout we're going to get. So we'll just have to wait and see. And finally, before we get into our main subject for today, we've actually been shown 3 English scans for our Flashfire set. The 3 cards we've been shown are the 2 Mega Charizards and Pyro. Now, I've pretty much covered these 3 cards already, so I'm not going to talk too much about them. We could already guarantee that we were going to get both Mega Charizards. That went without saying. It's basically, Flashfire is Charizard's set. So the idea of not getting both Megas would have been a strange move on Pokemon's part, but you know, it's nice to at least turn around and say, here's the confirmation. Them turning around and showing us the Pyro, that does say to me that my suspicions about why Pyro has been given the ability it has is kind of pushing through the whole fact that they're trying to push for evolutions, but we've still got all of these big basic X's that are doing the job. So yeah, I can see that, yeah, it is looking like they're trying to say evolution is the big thing. You know, go for the Mega Evolved X's instead of basic X's. Pyro is going to be there to hinder big X decks, but I think most people will be able to play around it. And now onto our main subject. I'm going to say now, I'm going to try and keep this as brief as I can, because it's a subject that I'm either going to be brief on it, or I'm going to just like spend an hour of your life on it. So I'll try and keep this as brief as I can, and we'll see how this goes. Today's main subject is actually on promo cards, the ones that you receive from participating at an event like a regionals or a state championships or a cities. Used to be Battle Roads, but until Battle Roads was scrapped and replaced with League Challenges. And the big question that I've seen asked, in fact, you can find the original thread for this over on PokerGym, is should Masters get different promos at events? Now, the argument I've seen brought forward is incredibly valid. I can see where it's coming from, and I do kind of agree with the player's standpoint. The player has stepped up into Masters, and now they've had to actually start paying to enter events. Now, they're wanting to actually use their prize support to try and recoup the cost of actually going into the event, which it's fair enough. It's just good business sense. If you don't have all the money in the world, then you're going to want to try and make back some of the money you've spent. So they've asked, they basically asked the questions like, well, we're getting these promo cards and they're not up to much. They're non-tiered cards, or people who don't really value or rate them at all. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up isn't actually the whole fact that, whether we should get, competitive promos. The big reason I'm actually bringing attention to this is because of the way he's asked the question. Should Masters get better promos? So juniors and seniors can keep on getting like the kind of card they're getting now, the stuff that isn't really meta competitive, whereas Masters get these meta competitive cards that should actually have some kind of price on them because they've got the little promotional stamp on them. And to be honest, I do kind of disagree with his standpoint on this. Not because of the whole entry fee point, the whole fact that over in the States, when you're in juniors and seniors, you don't have to pay to enter premier events, but Masters do. Over here in the UK, it's slightly different. If you're entering a premier event, you're most likely having to pay it. Whether you're a junior, senior, or master, you get paid. You're being paid in, and the money that you pay in to enter the event goes towards prize support. Plus, you do get the promos from the Pokemon Company still. So basically, all your packs are paid for by entry fees. That's not the only way that organised play differs between the UK and America, but I'm not really going to get into that whole thing because it can actually be a bit of a hornet's nest if you really don't know everything that's going on. And well, I'm a judge, I'm not a TO, so I don't actually know everything. So I'm not going to enter that. I'm not going to get into that hornet's nest. Back to the subject at hand. The major reason I do disagree with the whole should Masters get different promos or better promos is the fact that it's, in my opinion, it's discrimination. I can see from the American standpoint, yeah, the juniors and seniors aren't paying, but the Masters are, so the Masters should get something that's more worth their money. But to be honest, the difference between a senior and a master can be as little as 1 day. If a if a certain senior was born 1 day sooner, they'd have been a master. So they've had to pay to get in, but they've got a better promo. They've stood a chance to actually get a better card for just participating. And when you look at it like that, in my opinion, it's not really fair. It's like that senior who, if he'd have been born 1 day sooner, gets the better card. It doesn't really seem fair to him, and we can't show leniency on this because that's the whole reason we have the age divisions. You can't bend the rules slightly and say, oh well, you were if you were born a day sooner, you could have been Masters, so we're going to treat you as a Master when it comes to prize support. But you're going to be playing in Seniors, and you're going to have to, you don't have to pay like a Senior would. It's not really fair, because, well, this one Senior's getting special treatment. Why aren't all of them getting this special treatment? If all of the Seniors are getting special treatment, why aren't the Juniors? So, as I said, it does seem like discrimination. And I'm not saying that, this person is trying to discriminate, because he's not doing this to actually turn around and say, well, I want better things because I don't think they deserve them. No, he's saying that he wants Masters to get better support because he's looking out for his own best interests, and fair play to him. Everyone should look out for their own best interest, not for the sake of saying, well, I'm only going to look out for myself, but if you don't look out for yourself, you're not going to be in a position to help others, are you? So, help yourself to help others. Simple enough. There is also the fact that if you do look at this discussion, as I said, over in the States, Masters getting better promos makes a lot more sense than it does here in the UK. Here in the UK, as I said, juniors and seniors still pay in. So should the Pokemon Company design their actual price support system so that it supports America and other places in the world? Or would they keep using the same blanket system because, let's be honest, it's easier and more convenient for them to do so? If they carry on with the blanket system, then over here in the UK it is just flat out discrimination, really. It is a case of, well, you were born on a certain date, so you get to have nice things. You were born on a different date, so you have not as nice things. And you can see what I mean. You effectively create a class system by doing that, and I don't think anyone really wants that. I know I don't, and I'm hoping that you guys would agree that. Now, the biggest thing I would agree on with this discussion, though, isn't the whole idea of Masters getting better promos, well, getting different promos, but maybe the idea that everyone, be you Master, Senior or Junior, everyone gets a more meta-relevant promo card. Now, in the past we've seen evolutions, we've seen Scythers, we've seen promotional Pikachus, and let's be honest, only a small part of the market are interested in these cards. It's stuff for collectors, it's stuff for people who want bling and shiny. From a competitive standpoint, from a seller's standpoint, these cards aren't really worth a lot. And that is probably the biggest point that the person who actually started this thread actually is getting at. Not that the cards aren't good, but the fact that the cards aren't valuable. This person is turning around and saying, well, I'm paying $20 to get into a state championship, and out of it I'm getting a couple of packs that I can't guarantee anything good in, and a card that might be worth $2 or $3. He can't make his money back from that state, can he? So it's a case of, really, does this person actually benefit from being in Masters? Does it benefit from playing after Seniors? Now, if everyone got a more meta-relevant card, there's no outcry of it being discrimination. There's no real outcry. I think as long as the card is more valuable, Masters are going to benefit from it, because Masters tend to be the people who are better at selling and trading, just due to their experience. And Juniors and Seniors then get stuff that's more meta-relevant. They can trade with the friends to actually try and make a more meta-relevant deck, and it just seems to help the younger players. It gives them more incentive to play, in my opinion. Well, anyway, that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys actually think about the promotional card debate? Do you think that Masters should get their own promo cards, no matter where you're from? Do you think that Masters should get a different promo card over in the States but not over here in the UK? Or do you just think that maybe we should have better promo cards in general? As always, let me know down below. I look forward to hearing your opinions. And until next time, peace out.